I'm John Seary, a co-founder of Drive Electric NL, and I drive an electric vehicle. So an electric vehicle is a standard car that is set up to run from electricity on batteries instead of burning gasoline to propel itself. Both my wife and I each drive EVs, and we've done so for 5 years. We drive EVs because it's simpler, it's cheaper, and it's easier. These are fun cars to drive, they're smooth and they're quiet, they accelerate really nicely on the highway. It's cheaper because it's a lot cheaper to run from electricity than it is from gas. And it's simpler because I don't have to go and find a gas station at the end of the day to get filled up again. I simply just drive home and plug in. We switched to an EV because we were just tired of the same sluggish performance of gas cars, and we wanted something that would perform better and quieter. It's been great. We enjoy the exhilaration of the drive. We enjoy how quiet it is. Our kids love to ride in these cars, and it's so much simpler than having to constantly worry about going for an oil change, wondering about what's leaking out of the car. None of that exists in an EV. My wife and I bought our EVs in 2016. We're now at 5 years of ownership, and the experience has been great. We haven't had a single regret. Our maintenance costs are a fraction of what they were and almost zero in many cases. Owning an EV is an exercise in making an investment in a quality product that pays for itself for a long, long time. EVs are being shown to last a lot longer than a gas car. So once you've made that investment, the savings will be around for a lot longer as well. We don't have to worry about remembering to get the oil change, worrying if a muffler is going to rust out, wondering what an O2 sensor is and how much is that going to cost. We don't have to worry about clicks and rattles and wondering if the car is going to start. We don't have to think about anything like that. If we want to do a long drive, there are plenty of fast chargers along the Trans-Canada Highway across the province now, with more to come all around the rest of the province. But we don't usually have to worry about that. 95% of our charging or more is done at home, because the average person drives between 20 and 25,000 kilometers a year. That's only about 55 to 70 kilometers a day, well within the range of any EV that's been made. So it's about as much effort as your cell phone. You plug it in when you get home at the end of the day, and in the morning it's charged and ready to go. You just drive all day long until you're finished for the day, come home and plug in. It takes about 7 seconds. And in fact, it's so simple, the kids do it. Driving in the winter has a little bit of a range hit in that you're pushing the car through snow and wet weather, the same as a gas car. The amount of energy it takes to run the heater inside is almost negligible, actually. And in fact, there's a nice benefit of an EV in the winter because the car immediately starts getting warm as soon as you get in. You don't have to wait for the engine to heat up first before you get any heat on the inside. It does really good job with traction control because that's electronically controlled. It's not a mechanical linkage that you're waiting to kick in. And underneath the car is a lot flatter than in a regular gas car, so there's less to catch up on snow if you find yourself going through deep snow. EVs work well indoors and outdoors. The charging connector is not powered on until it's connected to the car and the car indicates that it needs to be charged. So it's actually just an empty cord until it's plugged in and connected. The biggest issue that we might see is if we have freezing rain that encases the thing in ice, in which case charging the car for a little bit more will melt it quite nicely. Most EV owners in the province do not have their cars inside, and they're quite fine with charging outside. If you walked into a parking lot full of cars for sale right now and you saw the energy that they use, the gas, the liters per 100 kilometers of 18 and 16 and maybe 12, and you're looking at those, and then you saw one that said 2, which one would you buy? Eventually everybody's going to realize that EVs are much like smartphones. When they came out, everybody said they're really expensive, but the price came down and what you could do with them went up and up. And the coverage for the data plans kept going, well, the same with the EV charging networks. I expect that while Newfoundland seems to take its time adopting new technology, it's going to be very, very popular, especially as we realize just how fun these are to drive and how inexpensive they are to run. Years ago, we would be a bit worried about crossing the island with the amount of charging infrastructure that we had available, but that's changing rapidly. Newfoundland Hydro and Newfoundland Power are each working to put more and more chargers in place. And experience across the rest of the country and across North America has shown that once the first chargers are put in, other companies will come and put in charging infrastructure as well. Even Nova Scotia saw 2 other private companies putting in fast chargers as soon as their hydro company had put in some. I expect that the proliferation of chargers will be very quick. It doesn't take anywhere near the amount of effort to put in an electric car charger than it does compared to installing a full gas station. And before you know it, a long trip all around the province just on electricity is going to be as easy as charging your own phone. Over the years, we have taken a number of long road trips. I've driven from St. John's to Montreal, down to Boston, up through the New England states, over to PEI. We've done 5,000 kilometer trips, and we'll use a lot of public chargers. And you sometimes wonder if you're going to be standing around waiting at a charger. The fact is that by the time I'm ready to charge this car, I'm also ready for lunch. And I don't know about you, but after driving for 3 or 4 hours, you'll kind of want to stop for something. What you do with the car charging is you plug into a fast charger, and nearby there's always somewhere to eat, somewhere to shop, whatever you'd like to do. By the time you've finished your sandwich and your dessert, your car is ready to go, and so are you. The chargers that we have in the province are 62 kilowatt chargers, which are quite fast. But faster chargers exist and will come eventually as well, cutting that time down even more. The reality is that you're used to having to go to a gas station for all of your fuel. But the times that you need to charge on the road are only if you're doing a very long trip. You'll be charging at home and driving all day and coming back and never thinking about the amount of time it takes to charge. Drive Electric NL has a very active Facebook group, which you are welcome to join, and would love to see you there. Also, throughout the summer, the EV owners will occasionally have some get-togethers, and we'll try and make that as public as you can. Come by and ask anything you want to know. It's a new technology and there's a lot to learn, and there's also a lot of benefits that we'd love to show you. I'm John Seary from Drive Electric NL. My wife and I have been driving full electric vehicles for 5 years, and we can never ever consider going back to gas because this is just too much fun and too much of an improvement in the driving experience to miss out. I recommend that everybody this summer go find an EV, go for a ride, and see for yourself just how great these are.